Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos, he's Bill Rice Jr., and we're heading for a big weekend of high school and college football, and hope you're going to be with us. First call, Harbor Bank. We appreciate them being a part of our show today. And, of course, Bill Rice, we've got an exciting time of the year right here. I reckon only Christmas can compete with high school and college football.
And right now, every team is undefeated, so everybody
looks good right now. Every coach has a job. Every fan has a exciting place to go for a football game, and
Hope Springs the Colonel right now.
We got a call coming in right away. Good morning. Whoa. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. We might have to go on break on that.
That sounds like it came from the space station.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take it in a minute. Of course, we're coming to you from our studios on South Frontage Street, and the guru himself has just walked into the room here. And, of course, it's brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, I just got through buying a beautiful Jeep Cherokee Limited. Oh, not only is it good looking, it drives wonderful. And, of course, I got a deal.
Let's go on the road trip on it somewhere.
Well, I'm ready to go. And, of course, what a great deal they gave me at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, they say they'll beat anybody's price, and they will. They'll beat anybody's price on a brand new Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep right here. And, of course, Ram trucks, and just a great selection of vehicles. If you're interested in a Dodge, a Chrysler, Jeep, and, of course, wonderful Ram trucks.
And then $200 of every sale goes to the hospital.
$200 of every new car sales, new car or truck sales will go into the pot. I call it pot. I shouldn't say pot, but it goes into the fund that will fund the Troy Regional Hospital $100,000, and they're off and running. Last month, they sold over 135 cars. And had a great month. And, of course, prior to that, they gave the school system $79,000.
Boy, they need it.
And not just Pike school system, but city system, Pike Liberal Arts. All the schools benefited from the sale of new cars and trucks. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Morning.
You had a grand introduction, Mike, and we got it taken care of. The boss man had to come out of his nest up top here and take care of it. Want to mention to Go Troy. Go Troy, not only Go Troy with that, but that tag Go Troy, and of course we're excited about the coming football season and the school year at Troy University, and a great way to show your support is to purchase one of these tags.
No,
let me tell you this: over 90% of the proceeds of the cost of this flags go directly to college scholarships.
How much are they?
They are $50.
I am. My tag's due for renewal in August.
That's right. Get you one and put
some funny little
rice and Troy, whatever. Mine just happens to say one Troy.
That's appropriate.
I know it. Well, I got it a long time ago, and
they could call you Mr. Troy.
I've tried to give it back to the chancellor because he probably deserves that way more than I do. Mm-hmm. But he said he got his own tag,
I've seen his too.
He's a great guy, I'll tell you that, and what a wonderful job he's done promoting and doing the great things to make Troy not only one of the great colleges in the state of Alabama, but without a doubt one of the very most beautiful college campuses in the country.
How seriously do you think he considered running for governor? Do you have any insight?
I don't know, but he would have won.
I think he would have, yeah.
Anybody that wouldn't vote for him for governor would be crazy, because he is so far more advanced.
He made the right decision. Why would you want to be governor when you can be chancellor of Troy University, is what I say.
Well, I tell you what, he's a fine man. He's a fine educator. He's a fine leader. He's just done wonders. And we're celebrating his 30th year this year.
You know what's always impressed me about Dr. Hawkins?
30 years.
Is he seems to know everybody by first name, and he knows them.
Well,
and he actually knows the students.
Yeah.
And how many colleges you go to where you're gonna the president is gonna know who you are? Or there's a fair
or more than anything, want to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he'll walk out during a busy in between classes and shake hands with the guys, and you know, they feel very comfortable being around him. And you know, three great men. These are three great men: George Wallace, Johnny Long, and Dr. Jack Hawkins. Those are three great men. And all
George
three
Wallace?
Oh, yeah, George Wallace. George Wallace, Mike, remembered names better than anybody I've ever known. But
I come on, remembered names.
But I tell you what they do. They make you feel like you're their best friend.
You know,
and that's quite a characteristic, great characteristic of anybody. They make you feel like they're a very good friend.
I've got a story along those lines about Governor Wallace. When my grandfather, Bob Rice, died, I was at grandmother's house, and the phone rang, and I happened to answer it. Everybody else was at the dining room table, and it was George Wallace calling to offer grandmother his condolences.
Isn't that something?
You know, my grandfather had worked for the state highway department, but he'd been retired for many years, and Wallace wasn't the governor, so it wasn't like he was looking to curry political favor or something. He just did it. You know, it was a sincere gesture, and it meant the world to my grandmother.
So how many years is Ralph Adams there? Is Hawkins been there longer than Adams now?
Yeah, he's been there longer than Adams. Adams came, I'll tell you when he came.
64.
Because I was in college. I started at Troy in 65. I want to say he came that year. You're right. I want to say he came about that year.
And his last year was my last quarter at Troy University.
And he was a great man. Don't get me wrong. He was a very
Hawkins
good
took over
man.
in what, 89 or 90?
About 90, 91.
Hawkins took over about 89.
Yeah.
Around 89, and been with us ever since.
Was there almost 25 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and did a magnificent job too. Of course, you know, he helped Troy grow and gave Troy a lot of support. Got a lot of support from government. You know, especially George Wallace. I can remember Steve Flowers.
Is Adams and his wife buried at the university?
Mm-hmm.
Adams and his wife are buried at the university.
Dorothy.
And
how many people are buried at the university? Are they the only ones?
Only two. I think there are two places that can be used for that, and I don't know who's going to use it, but I got a feeling who might use it one day. And of course, you know, that chapel there was was donated by the Sorrell, yeah, the Sorrell family. It's called Sorrell Chapel.
The timber company.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, from Saco, Alabama, and they gave to Troy way before anybody else was given to Troy. They were really great people, and but
I've always heard that Dr. Adams and George Wallace, they were really best friends.
Let me tell you.
They were roommates at the University of Alabama.
That's right. Let me tell you a little quick story. You know, Steve Flowers, when he first went in as a state to the legislature, state representative, and young guy, and he was sitting at a table. They called him in and wanted to find out what different department did he want to serve? You know, I mean, did he want to be on the House?
What committee?
He said, "Well, I'd like to be maybe on the House Ways and Means Committee, so I can help Troy." He said, "I want to help Troy right away. I'm just, so the House Ways and Means Committee would be the best way to go." So nobody really acknowledged, his request. And then Billy Joe Kemp, who was Governor Wallace's chief aide, called him to the side and said, "Steve, I wanted you to know one thing. As long as George Wallace is the governor of the state of Alabama and Ralph Adams is the president of Troy University, don't worry about Troy University getting any money or support, because, like you said, Ralph Adams and George Wallace were best friends."
Governor Wallace obviously has his detractors for his segregation views early on in his career, but I don't think anybody has ever credibly said anything about him being corrupt or dishonest in government. I know for a fact that when he left office, he was not a wealthy man.
No, he
He
wasn't.
had never profited. In fact, he lived in the neighborhood I later lived in Montgomery off of Zelda Road, the Hillwood neighborhood, in a very modest house, 2 streets over from me. And that is the home when John F. Kennedy Jr. started his magazine, George. The very first issue, John F. Kennedy Jr. did a feature story and interview with George Wallace, and he did it at that house.
I never knew that, and that tickles me to find that out.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy Jr., who would probably be president by now.
He sure would have, and just.
Yeah, he decided to fly on a bad night.
Boy, what was he thinking about? Man, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I watched a documentary on that not too long ago.
Big news breaking out of Tuscaloosa. Alabama's going to be without Najee Harris and Brian Robinson to start the game against Duke. They missed a team function, so your 2 starting running backs, or 2 top running backs, will not play, it looks like, the first half against Duke. So I don't know, will that affect the line in Vegas at 35? Will that go down to more around 32, 33?
Already has.
All right, who would be the running backs, Mike? And I'll tell you.
Like Kalen Robinson, who's out of the great school out of Washington, D.C., that came in and beat Hoover a few years ago by about 40 points, will be the starter, and then Jerome Ford will back him up. But
and he's hurt. Have you read that, Mike? That he's
got an ankle injury. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. Does Alabama just throw on every down, or try to pick up to start the season?
Yeah,
they also moved a wide receiver to running back in the spring, Chad Darius, and he'll probably see a lot of fatigue.
This is a terrible word. A terrible word. One of the most terrible words in our vocabulary. Stupid. 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 Man, oh man, how stupid can you be?
It's saving being disciplined, though. I mean, they're probably only going to miss the half, but you got to go to team functions. You got to have oneness when it comes to the team.
Well, Auburn's got their depth chart in the paper today. We'll be talking about the Auburn Tigers and their big showdown with what a lot of people think is a very good Oregon team. But listen, they're playing country boys. Listen, Oregon's coming in, and these guys from Auburn are good old raw-boned country boys. They know how to play football, and I think the speed difference alone will be just too much for Oregon to handle.
Well, I'd be interested to see how a pure freshman who was playing in high school football in Alabama a year ago plays in his first game in Jerry World against Oregon, who for most of the last 15 or 20 years was one of the football powers in America.
Yeah.
Quite a place to get your first start.
I was told by a big Alabama fan, and who knows, that Bo Nix and his dad, you could not ask for 2 finer people walking down the street than those two. They're not just football people, but just great people. The Knicks family, they say, is just out of sight when it comes to being a solid family foundation that loves their Lord first and loves football second.
Did you see his press conference? Malzahn, unlike Saban, allows freshmen to speak to the media. And so after he was named the starter, he had a press conference.
Yeah,
I thought he handled himself very well, very composed. He seems like he has the entire package.
He's no ordinary pure
physical
freshman.
tools and intangible tools to be an all-time great at Auburn.
Wouldn't you say that, Mike? He's no ordinary pure freshman, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, I've seen him play. I mean, when they played Hoover, they got dominated, and he didn't put up, great numbers against Hoover. But I don't know. I mean, it's a situation. I guess we're going to just wait and see. I mean, I don't see Auburn. I think the best they could do is possibly 8-4, and that's the best they could possibly do. So I don't see them winning 10 games by any means.
I can see them winning.
I'll be honest, their whole season really wraps around beating Oregon to me. Beating Oregon, I think you could have a decent season. You lose to Oregon, you go 6-6.
You're right. I can see them getting Big Mo on their side, beat Oregon, and then who's the next big game they have? Texas A&M or somebody, win that one, and then all of a sudden they have everything on their side, and I can see them running the table until they play Alabama.
You know what? I tell you what, after Saturday, I think we're going to have a whole different idea about the Auburn Tigers. Hold on a minute, Mike. Good morning, y'all, today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, Will Matthews.
Will Matthews calling in from Ozark, and let me bring you in here, Will. We got where we're getting better at this right now. Let me put you on hold. So I got both of them on hold. We'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Got both of them on. Is that right? Hello.
I'm on.
Will Matthews is getting right now getting a cup of coffee from your favorite. Where's the first place you stop at after you get in the car and head to Ozark?
I go to McDonald's and get my coffee, and I drive to Ozark. That's what I do.
Will Matthews calling in from en route.
We didn't get to talk to you yesterday. What did you think about the winner of the golf tournament, Roy McIlroy's play? That was a pretty interesting format. Did you like that?
Yeah, let me tell you one thing before we get to golf. Michael's heard about this. Saban just suspended 4 players for game.
Can't hear you, Will.
Saban suspended 4 players. We talked about the 2. We didn't know there was 2 more.
Yeah, there's 2 more, and all 4 players have entered the transfer portal. 2 of them are going to go to Penn State, and the other 2 are going to go to State Penn.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Ha. Yeah, okay, Judge. You gonna send them there? Is that right? You gonna send them there?
All right. You want to talk Rory? I tell you what, Rory McIlroy, when he's on, I think he's as good as anybody when he's on. And he was on this weekend.
And
Thomas did absolutely really. I mean, if he could have just even one day got hot, would have won the tournament. He tripled in the 3rd round. This Justin Thomas at Alabama, that kind of just pretty much put him out of it. He kind of fall back and finish 3rd. But Koepka didn't play his best golf either. So McIlroy was really, him and Schauffele were the only ones that really played really good golf.
That's right. You're right.
Thomas is the best example in the world that skinny boys still can play golf. I mean, he's skinny.
150 pounds.
5'10", 150 pounds, hits the ball, 320, 350, 325, something like that?
Yeah, he's one of the longest hitters.
McIlroy was out driving Koepka, and he's a little guy. Koepka's a big guy.
Yeah. But now, I'll tell you something about McIlroy, though, the last 3 or 4 years, he's got muscled up. He was just, he looks like a grown man now.
He's a good golfer.
Koepka couldn't putt. That's what happened to him, wasn't it? He just couldn't putt.
Yeah.
Of course,
I think that was smart. They moved everything up this year, so now you got football season starting up. You don't have to worry about having a tournament during the middle of football, and now it's over with. I guess they're getting ready for the President's Cup's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's in December, Michael.
Oh, December. Okay.
Okay, that is a long ways away.
And nobody's gonna watch golf during football anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Where is the President's Cup this year?
In Australia.
Yeah. Of course, we've got a whole lineup of high school and college football games that we're going to be talking about them.
The Wolves got beat, didn't they, Will?
Yeah, they got swapped.
What was that?
The Wolves lost their first game.
Now they play Wetumpka this week. I don't know how good Wetumpka is, but
They're usually pretty good.
that's who they play this week.
Did you say Ozark got beat, or what are you talking about?
We're talking about Dothan. Dothan had their first game ever, the Dothan Wolves.
Who did they play?
Yeah.
They played a team out of,
They played Clay Chapel.
yeah, they played Clay Chapel, which is pretty good, probably the best team in the state.
Well, we'll give them a little more time.
Well, we all farm, I promise you this. Want to mention today, and of course we've got a full line of sports to talk about, but right now at the Piggly Wiggly you can get T-bone steaks for $6.98 a pound. Tell them to cut them thick, and they're wonderful, of course, fresh fried leg quarters. This is for tailgating now, Will. $4.95 a pound. Boston Butts, just $1.19 a pound. A lot of folks be sticking those on the grill this weekend. Troy, you ought to see, Troy is huge tailgating before every game. The Troy kickoff starts at 5, and a lot of televisions will be out there watching the Alabama game in the tailgate area. And it should be a wonderful, wonderful Saturday if you love college football. Small pork ribs, just $1.67 a pound. And how about this? Oscar Mayer meat wieners, 4 1-pound packages for just $5. And, of course, hot dogs will be everywhere. And then Kelly smoked sausage, the best smoked sausage in the country, is just 3 packs for $11. And the sales go on and on and on. Remember, cost plus 10% at Piggly Wiggly in the Marketplace Shopping Center, or Piggly Wiggly on North 39th Street right here in Troy. And we appreciate Steve Garrett and all the great folks at Piggly Wiggly.
Do more business on Fridays and Saturday mornings, everybody getting ready for their tailgating and cookouts.
No question about it. Those you folks that are members of the Troy University National Alumni Association, you eat free at the alumni tent, and they're having barbecue fresh from the best barbecue in the land, Mike.
Hooks.
Hooks. If it don't say Hooks when you come to barbecue, you don't want it.
ESPN came out with the 50 best college football programs over 150 years. They're doing the 150 years of college football. They're doing all kinds of specials.
Number 1 is Michigan.
No, number 1's Alabama.
I know, but Michigan's won more games than anybody else. Is that right?
I know, but they're picking the top schools ever. Do you want to hear the top 10?
Yes, I would love to hear it.
All right, Alabama's number 1.
Yay, Alabama.
They're claiming 15 national titles. Notre Dame is number 2. They're claiming 13 national titles.
Whoa. Okay.
Ohio State is number 3. They're claiming 8 national titles.
All right.
Oklahoma's number 4. They're claiming 7 national titles.
All right.
USC is number 5. They're claiming 9 national titles.
Okay, USC.
Michigan is number 6. They're claiming 9 national championships, but that's mostly from 1901 to 1933.
Okay.
Yale is claiming more national championships than anybody. They're claiming 18 national titles.
Yeah, that was, and that Yale Bowl is still standing where they play those games, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Nebraska's number 8 with 5 national titles. Texas is number 9 with 4 national titles. And then, this is amazing, they made the top 10. What a credit to North Dakota State, the top 10 school all time, winning 15 national championships.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I can make a comment on that.
But I can remember one when a freshman kicker from Brantley, Alabama, Snap back, touchdown. They kick it up. It is high enough. It is far enough. It is good. And Troy State University defeats North Dakota State by a score of, Mike, do you know what it was? 17-15.
I thought it was 18-17.
All right, 18-17.
Ted Clem.
Ted Clem, the young freshman out of out of Georgiana, Alabama.
What?
And speaking of that, that's my game of the week this week. Luverne against Georgiana. What a football game that's going to be. And it's going to be played in Georgiana, I believe.
I want to go back to Michigan. I did some research on my potential book on Alabama football since Coach Bryant's death. If you take away all those forfeits that the NCAA made Alabama give up, that's like 28 wins. The only team that has more wins than Alabama is Michigan, all-time wins. And Michigan has been playing football for at least 7 more seasons than Alabama. And people forget that Alabama did not field a team in 1918 because of World War I.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And 1943 because of World War II. All these other programs did field teams during those, all the other top 10 programs. So Alabama is really being counted against teams that had 2 extra football seasons.
Yeah. It'll be fun to do something right here. All right, let's see.
Auburn, by the way, is number 20 overall top program of all time with 2 national championships.
What about Tennessee? They were probably second in the SEC.
Back then they were really good.
Yeah, you got after that you got let's see, you got Florida at number 21, you got Georgia at number 22. I don't believe that Georgia's only won 1 national championship.
Oh boy.
I think Tennessee was they would probably be in the top 12. They're in the top 12 of all-time wins.
All right. When you mention any of those names, like Alabama, who would be the first name that would draw your attention to Alabama? Would it be Joe Namath? Would it be Leroy Jordan?
A player?
Would it be a player, Bart Starr?
Probably Joe Namath.
Joe Namath. How about Notre Dame? Who would be the first name that would jump out at you?
For me, it's Joe Montana.
Montana.
Paul Horning would be mine. And then the number 3 is who? Who is this 3 with 8 national championships? Right?
Ohio State.
No, it's not Ohio State, is it? What was number 3?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. West Virginia, by the way, where Neil Brown is number 47.
Oh, no, number 47.
Ohio State has a slightly higher winning percentage than Alabama all time by just a 0.10, very small margin. Alabama could pass them this year. You know why that is, Mike?
Why?
Because forever the Big Ten teams did not play in a bowl game unless they went to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So that was the only bowl they went to, and if they could not go to the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row either. So you'll notice that Alabama has played in many, many, many more bowl games than Ohio State and Michigan. Well,
Yeah, we talked about that one day.
bowl games, you probably got about a 50-50 chance of winning because you're playing good competition. So Ohio State avoided so did Notre Dame. Notre Dame didn't go to bowl games for forever.
Yeah, and
Well, for several years, the SEC dominated Ohio State. It was actually when Meyer beat Alabama in the playoffs was a huge win for Ohio State's program because I think against SEC in bowl games they were like, I don't even know if they'd beat an SEC team in a bowl game.
Yeah.
I was at the 1977, I think, or January 1st, 78 Sugar Bowl when Coach Bryant played Woody Hayes' team, and boy, Alabama beat the slop out of them.
Yeah. Will, we've got our picket shows coming up this week, starting tomorrow.
On that game, when Alabama beat Woody Hayes, when Bear beat Woody Hayes, at halftime they were going off the field, and Woody Hayes went over to the goalpost and started beating his head up against the goalpost. I think it was 21-3 at the half. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That was in the Sugar Bowl, wasn't it? In the Sugar Bowl?
In the Superdome, and that was the game that one of the press after the game asked Coach Bryant why he didn't wear his hat for the game. And he said, my mama told me not to wear a hat inside.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
Coach Bryant made that famous.
You know, Alabama had a case to win a national championship that year.
When did Hayes hit the player?
The next
he
year.
Lost his job because he hit a Clemson guy. Wasn't that right?
He hit the Clemson guy.
The next year.
His last game. Yeah, that was his last game.
Was it his last game? Okay.
Yeah, it was in the Gator Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. And that was you know, I'm sure they had you know, him, you know, they were thinking about probably making a move with him, but that was the main thing that made it happen. Isn't that right? Here we got another call coming in.
Yeah, Bobby Knight choked a player during practice and kept his job.
Yeah. All right, now we got Max Howell coming in here right now.
Get off. I got to put the girls in the car.
All right, okay. Stay with us, if you will, Will. All right,
All right. I'll hang on a little
we're
bit.
going to put you on hold and bring him in. Good morning, Max Howell. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. How are you this morning?
All right, we got Will Matthews on the other line. Let me get him on right now too. Put you on hold, and we're going to put both of you on hold, and we're going to go this route here.
I think they're both there.
I know they got them right there.
Oh,
Okay, we're going to do it over again, aren't we?
When they're not blinking, they're on.
All right, now we got both of you on.
I'm here.
Okay, Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi this morning. How you doing, Max?
Mike, pretty good up here, bro. Looks like we're going to get a clear day for a change, and weather's going to be a little cool coming in this weekend, and football's upon us now.
No question about it. Of course, we got Will Matthews on the other line, and Bill Rice Jr. Is here at the desk. And Max, first of all, let's talk about the great weekend we had. I know you saw a lot of the old guys you coached. Was it a lot of fun?
Yeah, it really was, Mike. Of course, you know, I was able to sit with you guys on Friday night, and then we, you know, got up Saturday morning. You and I rode to Montgomery and visited Johnny Williams and watched that ball game with Sanford and Youngstown, and certainly enjoyed that. And got back. Silverberg was married at 6:30, and the party began. And, I thought a really nice event. Great attendance by a lot of guys, but I thought I really did. I thought the reception was nice, and really enjoyed. Had a chance to see Doris Atkins, Billy's wife. I've not seen her in 50 years.
Oh, isn't that something?
Yeah, that was really a good.
And she still looked good, didn't she?
She really did. She really did.
And of course, Max Howell coached on the 1968 team that won the
I got a
national
question
championship.
for y'all. Is Billy Atkins in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah. Billy Atkins been in the Hall of Fame for a long time, hasn't he, Max?
He was the first. I think one of the first ones to go in off our bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he went first, then Sim, Danny and Bobby, Lonnie Shelley.
Yeah. Yeah, but now we're talking about also going into the state Hall of Fame. You know, Atkins is in the state Hall of Fame.
He's in the Alabama Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Who all from Troy's in there?
I don't think he's in the National Hall of Fame, though.
No, he's not. But he's in the state Hall of Fame. Billy Atkins, along with other.
Larry Blakeney, Chase Riddle.
That's right, Chase Riddle, Larry Blakeney.
Don Maestri needs to be in there.
Yeah, we need to get him in there. Also, Sim Bird's in there. Yeah, oh yeah, he's in there. And
Bobby Marlowe's in there, but
Bobby Marlowe's in there from Troy. You're right. Yeah, no question about it. Of course, we've got Will Matthews calling in from Ozark this morning, and we've got some big high school games coming up. We've got Charles Henderson going up against Enterprise Friday night in the stadium. Well, Max was able to get a first-hand view of how we do our broadcast and we broadcast the Pike County High Charles Henderson game live on Troy Cable, and Max was kind enough to sit in there and watch what went on. What did you think, Max?
Mike, I thought it was fine. I'm fortunate enough. I've done a lot of those in my life, my career, I thought you guys handled it well. The stadium was just magnificent.
Yeah, it is. That's as pretty a playing field as it is in America, isn't it?
I guarantee you, the lights when it really got dark and all the reflection off the floor they just put down. I mean, I thought it was as good as I've ever. I've been to some big stadiums.
I know you have. You're right.
You know, I've been to most all the big bowl games in the country. Coached in 3 or 4 of them myself, and I'm telling you that. Florida doesn't have to take a back seat to anybody when it comes to facilities now.
Yeah, you're right, exactly right. And of course, probably the first. I don't know if it'll be the last wedding there, but it was beautiful, wasn't it?
It
Was
really
that the first
was.
wedding there?
I thought it was. I really think, Mike. I thought it was uniquely done, planned.
Yeah, you're right.
Good job. Had the tent right up against the wall. They came through the tent right out, and of course it was hot.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
It was.
And then of course they danced to the great sound of the Fabulous Shades, and it was just a great night. Of course, now it's time for the big ball games. Of course, we had Miami and Florida. What was your feeling on that game?
Man, that was an awfully played ball game. I mean, no surprise Florida won. I thought they'd have won much bigger than that. But they made a lot of mistakes. That's the first ball game, and you know, and both sides. A lot of us like Florida more than I watched them. I guess more than anything, Mike, mainly because it was a situation they came in with such high expectations and thinking they're gonna make a run to Georgia this year, and I don't think it's gonna be this year. But they got a long way to go.
Yeah.
I think Dan Mullen can do it. I'm not down on him at all. And I really do think Frank's pushed a little bit. Frank's read the paper too much early in the season, and really thought at the end of the year last year he had improved tremendously. But I don't think it carried over. I don't know what he did the all season, but it didn't work. It didn't work well enough. Let's don't diminish they did win the football game.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
In the state of Florida, that's a big win for them.
Probably the worst place or the hardest place to win a football game in the country. Now I reckon you call it the country when you play at Hawaii, but did that surprise you that Hawaii beat Arizona?
Well, you know, remember, here's a lot of people don't realize, Mike, the travel that it takes. That's why I think as good as Oregon might be, Auburn's going to win that ball game, regardless of what Auburn does the rest of the year. When you travel across country, I'm telling you guys, the upset and the body chemistry, you don't understand how it is. It really does take a toll, in particular early in the season, because they really aren't game conditioned yet. So, you know, having to travel that many miles, I know the kids get a big kick out of going to Hawaii and all the stuff, but it doesn't do a lot for your win-loss record sometimes.
It sure doesn't. Boy, now we got a fresh new game schedule, and we've got them starting as early on. Will, now what's the games that jump out at you this week?
Well, listen, Mike, the games in the conference this weekend are terrible. There's only 2 games worth watching. You got the Ole Miss-Memphis game will be pretty good, and the Auburn-Oregon game. The rest of them are going to be blowouts.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
well, Alabama's, Max, I don't know if you've seen the top 2 running backs for Alabama will not, I don't know if they're going to hold them out the whole game, but at least a half they're going to be out of the ball game.
My take is Alabama put on first down and still win.
You mean do you think I could gain 3 yards at right tackle?
I don't think it'd be.
I mean, I can hear it right now. Amos at right tackle play fails the game.
Yeah, I love David Cutcliffe. He did a great job at Ole Miss, and of course he was former coordinator and did a super job at Tennessee. And, you know, you guys may remember, may not. He was offered a Notre Dame job after he left Ole Miss. He had a heart attack. En route, I think he'd been back to Tennessee a year or whatever as a coordinator, and his health factor. Then Duke came along, and to me, that's the perfect fit for David Cutcliffe.
A lot of people think he might be one of the best top 5 coaches in America. What is your feeling?
He gets the most out of them, Mike. I'm going to tell you, he does. In fact, you go back and check Peyton Manning now. I mean, he stayed in touch with him all throughout his pro career.
Yeah.
You know, Archie and Peyton and Eli worked out under him. You know, played for him at Ole Miss, and I mean, he's just his personality is so different from a lot of other coaches.
He was a manager. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize this, but he was a manager at Alabama. He never played.
Right. He didn't play. That's right.
And he was a manager, and of course, got into coaching under Coach Bryan. I'm sure helped him get into coaching. And one thing for sure, the Duke's quarterback will be well schooled. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is that can you get? And he's got enough talent from time to time, and I do believe that his coaching ability is coach those kids up where they can be competitive. I guess what he and Steve Spurrier, the only two guys that would be able to put Duke football, competitive anywhere consistently. So I'm proud to see him now. I hate to have to start off against Alabama. I hope they don't get the kids hurt.
Yeah, Max, if I was one of those guys that did go down to Mississippi or pick up the phone and call Las Vegas, whatever, I'd leave this one alone, wouldn't you? Because you really don't know what's going to happen in this game. What do you think?
No, you're right. I mean, that's, I could go on and tell stories about it. We've all read, the Appalachian going to Michigan and winning, and we just go down the list. You can't overlook anybody anymore.
Yeah.
When the NCAA changed the rules on raising academic standards and cut the numbers down, I was as vocal as anybody in this country about, we can't win with that. I mean, there's no way. But you know what? It's worked. I think the offsetting factor is now they let them stay 12 months on campus and work them out 12 months. They give the strength and conditioning coach an opportunity to take them on the field, and a lot of things they made up for that.
Yeah.
But the numbers affect some people. I still think, guys, it goes back to recruiting. If you got a great one, you better be able to recruit one or two just as good or close to being just as good behind him. Because if he goes down, first of all, that's the first problem you got. Now, how do you Georgia's quarterback situation now with Fromm? If he goes down, who is going to even take snaps at number 2? And then the next is, if he's good enough, he's leaving in 3 years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of inside stuff you have to really pay attention to. A lot of fans never think about.
Okay, Coach, Will, I'll let you take this. Will, Auburn has gone from being a 6-point favorite to a 3-point favorite. That means people are starting to lean a little bit toward Oregon, but I can't see Oregon beating Auburn. What do you think?
Well, I can see them beating them.
You can? You can see them beating them?
Yeah.
All right, tell me about it.
I mean, it's on a neutral field. There won't be 50,000 people there.
You mean there'll be tickets available at that game?
Oh, Mike, you can walk up there and get one for $10 probably.
Yeah. Okay. Same way with Alabama and
the Dukies.
Yeah, same way there, wouldn't it?
You would be right at home in the Duke section with that sweater.
I mean,
right?
if I wanted to ride over there to watch that game, I could easily do it. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah, they'll have tickets everywhere. In fact, I had a friend of mine got 4 tickets on the 40-yard line for $100.
Yeah.
25 people. I mean, people are dumping the tickets.
Max, would you stay away from that one at 3 points? Would you stay away from it or what?
I would. Because, again, who knows? Oregon's coming in ranked in the top 10. The quarterback's one of the top 2 or 3 in the country. We know they got a lot of speed. I personally think Auburn wins the ball game on the physical side, on the defensive side. But I wouldn't lean financially on that thing too much myself. Seen too many things happen, particularly opening week.
All right, now, Max.
Hey, Max, I think this is going to be a shootout game. I really do. I think they're going to score a lot of points, both of them. So, I would. I think the best bet on this game is over the 55 points.
I agree with you. That would be good.
I think here's what we come away with, Will, is Auburn's defense is good as advertised. They don't have anything for it. I don't think they've got any injuries off that first bunch. I think they're all going to be healthy to play. And I still put a lot of emphasis on teams having to cross the country early in the season. But I don't know how Oregon will handle that. But if that thing gets over 50, it probably will be. That's a good point to see. And I'm not really sold yet on Bo Nix being the starting quarterback.
Yeah. Well, now, Mags, how about this? All right, how about this game? And Will thinks, you know, that Memphis will win the football game. Memphis is a 7-point favorite over Ole Miss. What do you think? To me, I look at this being an old SEC team against a non-SEC team. What do you think?
Ole Miss had won but 2 in the last 6, Mike.
Okay.
And let me tell you something else. Just came out. You know how many tickets the Ole Miss athletic department took from Memphis to sell?
How many?
3,200.
Troy would have took more than that.
In a 50,000 seat stadium.
That is something. That tells you that Ole Miss does not think they can win the game.
That's right. Big time.
Boy, oh boy. I'm going to really be pulling for Ole Miss hard here. I really do want them to win.
Mike, you can pull for Ole Miss, but it will not be close.
Wait a minute. You think they'll blow them away?
Memphis will beat them, and it won't be close.
Give us
Give
us a score on that one, Will.
I'd say Memphis will put 50 on Ole Miss. It might be 50 to 28.
50 to 28.
they're going to throw the ball 40 times now. I can tell you. In the weakest part of Ole Miss's defense for the last 2 or 3 years has been the secondary and the linebacker.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Max, guess what the over-under is on the Ole Miss-Memphis game?
I'd say 60 maybe.
68.
68. Yeah, so
that's leaning toward Memphis.
but you know, we're talking about a very good Auburn defense. A very good Memphis offense going up against not a very good defense. So I can understand that game will go over in a hurry.
They'll rip them to shreds, Mike.
Rich Rodriguez is going to be the offensive coordinator for Ole Miss this year. Almost became the Alabama coach. Y'all remember?
Oh man, the worst mistake he ever made in his life was to tell his wife or let his wife make the decision on him coming to Alabama.
But would he have made it? Go back and check his track record from there. What he did at Michigan.
Yeah.
I know he did okay at Arizona. Michigan, guys, I mean, NCAA was after him big time.
And I can see somebody stabbing another one in the back here as far as coaches. I can see Rich Rod telling all the boosters that he should be the head coach. Can't you?
Yeah, can you sit there?
So I don't know if that's going to be a good chemistry situation or not. But those are 3 big games right off the bat.
We've got Georgia Vanderbilt in Nashville. Will, you ought to know something about this game, Georgia and Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think Georgia will probably win that one by 35 points.
You don't think Vanderbilt always has pretty good defense? You don't think they can hold Georgia here?
Well, I don't think they can score. So, I mean, Georgia's going to score, and that'll be the score.
Well, I'll tell you one thing a lot of people say, and I've heard this too many times, Max. They say Georgia's got the best offensive line in football. Is that right?
That's the offensive book. Yeah, I don't think he's in it out there. Returning 7 starters on the defensive side. My whole contention about Georgia is if Fromm goes down, who plays quarterback?
Yeah.
After Justin Fields went to Ohio State, they don't have a guy who's ever taken a step back there.
But you know that Fromm has never been.
I'm going to be interested to see how they try to protect him. And Vanderbilt's that's one thing. And they'll try to get, the young guys in there for some playing time, I'm sure. But down the road, when they get head-to-head with some hard-nosed teams, I want to see how they handle that.
Yeah. But Fromm has never.
I don't think they're going to let him run at all. And I think that's probably.
No, I don't either. I agree.
He'll be like Tom Brady. He'll be in the pocket. If he gets a heavy rush, he's going down.
Yeah, they tell him hit the dirt, hit the dirt.
And he also is good at getting rid of the ball. And I don't think he's ever been hurt before. So, I mean, I think there's a good chance he could make it through the year. But Max is absolutely right. If something happens to him, whew.
I was riding down the road heading to work this morning, and I looked over at Grocery Advantage, of course, located right there at the intersection of the Elba Highway and the Montgomery Highway. And they've got fresh, delicious grapes, seedless grapes, $1.98 a pound. They've got a whole gallon of fresh milk for $1.99.
Oh, wow.
And they've got their T-bone steaks, hear this, for $3.99 at Grocery Advantage. And that is, if you haven't been there, that is a wonderful place to shop. It's roomy, and it has some great deals all over the store. So hope you'll take advantage of Grocery Advantage today. We got a call coming in, guys. I'm going to put y'all on hold a second. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning. Just calling back.
Mike Amos calling. I don't know if I can get you in or not. Let's see here how we're going to...
How many you got on?
Well, I've got 2 on already.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's see if we can do it. Well, let's see if we can break a record here. All right, I got 1 of you on.
Yeah.
2 of you on. Now we're going for the record here.
Come on.
3 of you on. Now I got to go back.
2 are flashing. Those are the ones you want to fix. Yeah.
There we go. Well, we're not going to be able to bring that other one on. But Mike, let's go back to our lines here. And 1 here. Well, we got to go back to our starters.
Our starters.
Yeah, our starters. Here we go. Are y'all back now? Both of you back?
I'm here.
And Will back. Will Matthews. Mike Amos trying to get in from the south, but right now I'm going to take my...
We got 2 out
right
of
now
3.
we got 4 on to total, so we'll stay where we are. Anything else? Any other game that jumps right out at you? That you think Max might be a close one. A lot of people.
Yeah, I'm going to watch South Carolina and North Carolina. I think with Matt Brown coming back to North Carolina and a lot of emphasis being put on, Will Muschamp at South Carolina, I think and they should win that one. I think South Carolina should.
But I think this is a must-win for South Carolina.
It is. I say if they stumble there, Muschamp's going to have a hard year.
They're going to have a hard time making a bowl game, and of course you got to win at least 6. And like you said. This is a rival game. This is a huge game for Muschamp.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read where North Carolina is starting a pure freshman quarterback just like Auburn in his first game.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out a couple of games that might surprise you. One of them is the Georgia Southern LSU game. They let the quarterback come back, Max. Now, I know they're not supposed to be able to match LSU with manpower, but finesse, this is where finesse comes into play with those big old burly defensive guys not playing technique. They could run into trouble here. Don't you agree?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I can go back and talk to you about when we were, I think, ranked second or third in the country when I was at Florida State the last year there. And now we played Georgia Southern at homecoming. They had a season nothing at halftime. We came back and won that game 21-13 or something like that. But it was because here's the difference. It was just like Georgia used to be. You play Southern, and of course when Paul Johnson was at Tech, he's gone now. But you play those teams that run that misdirection stuff inside. And you got. LSU's been working on it. I can promise you that. So I don't look for that to be any kind of, close ball game. I think LSU shows that plays a lot of kids in this opening game.
Well,
let
me just say another thing. They play Texas the next week. LSU plays Texas, so they better not be looking ahead here because I've seen this quarterback. He is really, really good. I'm talking about really, really good.
Mike, but I'll tell you what they'll sacrifice. They'll sacrifice a close game to Georgia Southern to spend that time for getting ready for Texas.
Okay. All right.
The national recognition is going to come from playing Texas.
Exactly.
Georgia Southern.
Well, let me just say this. Troy went in there and knocked him off. That proves that a Sun Belt team can do it. But at the same time, I'd be scared to death of this Georgia Southern team, the way they run their option. I tell you what, it's somebody looking at the game to try to make a living. 27.5. I'd take Georgia Southern in a second and 27 points.
Well, there's some people out there let you do that, Mike.
I know it. You're exactly right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Will.
Mike, if you do that, you'll sleep in the street.
Oh, really? Are you serious? All right, okay. All right, now I told you that people all over this country and on Facebook across the world just took my advice.
When we have these picking contests, I think we ought to pick them against the line.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Well, if you'll notice, every year, last year I'd call in with 6 picks every week, and all of them would be against the line, not the,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and that's what a lot of people want to hear. Yeah.
And I was probably 75-80% last year.
Yeah.
Boy, you can make a living with that.
Well, I tell you what, I want you to call in because I want to hear them. I really do.
I will.
I will.
Now I know you're a Sunbelt guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily a Sunbelt guy, but I tell you what.
But hey, I've got one game I'm looking at that I think could be a sleeper, and that UL Lafayette gets 21 against Mississippi State at home.
That's right.
I like that one too.
And they're playing the game in the dome, but that'll be a huge. Well, I don't know. It should be a big crowd on both sides.
I think it'll be a Lafayette crowd back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Mississippi State's got tons of problems now. I'm going to tell you, they got hit Friday. They hadn't announced who's going to have to sit, but they got 10 football players, 3 starters that has to sit at least 8 games.
Golly, that's terrible.
And one of them's a big Willie Gay, that's a big linebacker, first team All-American prospect.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for them to win without him. And on top of that, the number 2 quarterback's already put in the transfer. He dumps a kid. The only quarterback that guy's going to play is a transfer from Penn State who's never taken a snap at Mississippi State.
Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Well,
That line hasn't gone down with all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
I haven't seen it go down. Right now it's 21. I'll tell you another one that if some of those guys out there trying to make a living, I love South Alabama in 36 against Nebraska. South Alabama's got more of a running type team that can control the ball a little bit. I just think that 36 points is too much, way too much. What?
Scott Frost has got to make a statement, Mike. I wouldn't be surprised if they did win that by 50.
Well, all right. You heard me say it. We'll look at it this time next week. look at Georgia Southern and look at South Alabama. Because of being able to control the ball, I don't. If I thought they were in three and out every down, I'd say, well, take the other way. But I don't think it's going to be 3 and out every down.
Mike, what was South Alabama's record last year?
They had a losing record, but the coach is a former Troy. The coach is a former Troy player that played on that.
But Mike, he's not playing.
And I know it. I agree with you. I agree. All right, I made my statement. Take Georgia Southern
and take South Alabama.
Take South Alabama 36. That's a lot of points. I think they'll score 2 or 3 times on.
Mike, there's a reason the line is like
exactly.
Okay, all right, yeah, but it's the first game of the year. Again, I made my statement.
We shall see.
Of course, I'm also like. And I know it came down. Everybody starting to like Toledo against Kentucky.
Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo, pretty good program, up there. But
I know nothing about Holy Toledo. I know Kentucky lost a lot of great players.
They did, Bill. That's I saw that. Vinny Snell's going to take a lick. I mean, they'll take a lick to loosen him. I think the Wilson kid at quarterback will be, better than he was last year. But their defensive side of the ball, guys, I watched them in the spring. They couldn't stop running water.
Yeah.
Their twos went up and down the field on their first defense. I think Kentucky gets 6, maybe 6 wins.
I'm like Will too. I'm like Will about Memphis. I think Memphis is going to win that football game and win it pretty big. I was looking at another team that everybody's talking about. Now, believe it or not, you're going to chuckle when I say this, is Wake Forest. a lot of people think that guy's got that program turned around. They're playing at Utah State. They're playing at Wake Forest. I like Wake Forest in that game.
See, I don't even watch it. I don't even look at it. I don't even, you know, and a lot of those teams are outside the Southeastern Conference. If it's a bit like Clemson and Georgia Tech, I'll pay attention to that one. You know, a lot of them, my Oklahoma, I watch them in Houston on Sunday. But, you know, some of those teams outside, if they aren't ranked in the top, you know, 5 or so, top 10.
Speaking of Oklahoma, I watched, read a story about the line and said the line of the Oklahoma-Houston game has really come down since it opened up. It was first Oklahoma by about 27, and now it's down to 22 or something.
I'll tell you what will jump out at you. 82 is the over-under. 82. That's a lot of points. Isn't that right? Hey, how could you really not take the 82? Take the under 82.
Well, it hurts lighting them up when they do it.
Oh, gosh. That is something.
And Jalen is playing.
Hey, give me that 82 right now. Hey, listen, I'll take 80. Anytime you give me 80 under 82, I'll take it.
Well, hey, Mike, guess what? It'll be 35 to 21 for half. You'll have 56 points, and then you'll sweat it.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Well, you know, the closest over-under to them is Oklahoma State and Oregon State, 74. And I was looking down here. Isn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. Hey, that by far is the largest over-under.
They ain't talking about a lot of good defense in that league out there. That's what the deal is. No.
I compare it to tennis. If you can just break the one game the guys serve, then you're going to win. You know, if you can just get one stop in these games, you're probably going to win.
I'll tell you another one. Y'all going to laugh. That Middle Tennessee might play Michigan State. You know, they're getting 33 points against Michigan.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points. and Middle is a team that can score, you know, but what do you think there, Max?
Rick Stockstill signed out to get that check, Mike.
Well, exactly. Another one out west that's going to be a good game. This will be your late game and be a lot of fun to watch. Is the Stanford Northwestern game. That should be a good one. What do y'all think about that? I'm talking to you two gurus. Huh?
That is my upset of the week. Is Northwestern will go out there and beat Stanford.
They'll be getting 6 points.
Write that down. Write it down.
How about you, Max? Who do you like here?
Yeah, I don't know. Stanford comes close to being an SEC team in the pack of any team out there. You know?
Especially defensively, aren't they?
Northwestern's been pretty proficient. But for me, I'd stay away from it. I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know enough about them, to be honest with you.
That would be scary. You're right. No question. But, again, we've got a great weekend of college and high school football. And, hey, you heard all about it here on our show today. Max Howell is our guest. And, of course, Will Matthews calling in from Ozark. And
it all starts tomorrow. All right. See Will.
Is Will out of here?
Will had to run.
Will had to run. And, of course, Max Howell is with us. And, Max, I know this time of year you're asked who do you think will be what we call the underdog or the biggest surprise? Who is your biggest surprise of the year? And I'm going to give you mine, and Rice, you give me yours.
You mean overall?
Yeah. Who do you think will be a surprise
in the
team?
SEC?
Well, in the nation.
Oh, my gosh. See, Mike, you put me at a disadvantage, but I don't even pay attention outside the conference.
All right, well, in the SEC then.
No, I'm still thinking Florida's going to turn it around and be much better than they played the other night. I got a lot of confidence in Dan Mullen. Watched for 8 years over at Mississippi State. He had that program turned without a doubt. I'll be interested to see that. And then I think the other one we all need to watch is Texas A&M. Can Jimbo make that thing, make them consistently competitive? Guys, you got to remember, as big as they are, as much money as they spend and all, last time they won a national championship was 1939.
I know, isn't that amazing with all their resources?
Exactly right.
I'm going to answer your question while Mike absorbs this information that Scott got him. Two teams that I think will exceed expectations that it might be under the radar are Oklahoma State. They might be better than we think. And TCU. This is going to be a big bounce back year for TCU.
Yeah. I think the Big 12. I think it's hard. Oklahoma and Texas will probably dominate it, but who will end up being? Of course, remember they split last year. I think Tom Herman's did a good job there, but you always got a TCU and Oklahoma. One of those teams will jump up and beat one of those guys unexpectedly. People just overlook them. I don't know what the deal is from a coaching standpoint. If they get beat, some of the better teams will get beat every year by one or both of those teams.
Yeah, no question. And talking about TCU, I don't even know if they even play this week. Let's see here. Oh, they play Arkansas Pine Bluff, a team that we're going to play next year. Well, we're going to play them next year. I don't know why in the world you want to play Arkansas Pine Bluff.
They won't even have enough to dress out.
But, I'm going to tell you this, and y'all, I'm starting to lean a little bit more toward Auburn.
Yeah.
If this young quarterback turns out to be a phenom, look out. You know what I'm saying? Don't you think they're just really a quarterback away from being really good?
No, they're running back away, Mike.
Well, they've got
Malzahn's offense is based on a running back.
I know this running back is not bad. This guy their number one guy is. I don't know about the backup.
But he stays hurt all. He didn't finish the season last year.
Yeah. Well, he is a pretty good athlete.
He's about 225 Winslow. He's about 225. Spreading 25 times a game. Guys, I'm going to tell you, in the SEC, look at who number 2 is. It's the Martin kid. He's 185 pounds. Got great speed, but you got to break him out. And the offensive front's coming back. They got 5 starters back from last year. Let's look at the depth. The depth of pure freshmen.
Yeah. I was looking at their schedule. Of course, they've got Tulane, a pretty good Tulane team coming in next week. Then Kent State. So if they could get by Oregon, they'd be 3-0 playing at Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that'd be a huge
I think now they'll handle. They could lose to Texas A&M, but I think they'll beat Florida, Mississippi State. And listen to this: I think they'll beat Florida. I'm not very impressed with Florida, and they'll beat Arkansas.
They'll beat
Arkansas.
That's about the 5th or 6th game.
I know it, and of course Auburn's good in this situation when you don't think they got a chance. Mm-hmm. And then at Arkansas, they should win that one. They won't. They'll lose at LSU. Should beat Ole Miss. Won't beat Georgia. I'm looking at them. They'll beat Stanford and lose to Alabama. I got them maybe going 8-4 or 9-3.
8-4. But let me tell you, Mike, Les can't keep his job at 8-4 if he don't beat Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, we don't know on down the line how good Georgia's going to be. Like, if something did happen to Prom, like
That's
you
right.
say, it could make a big difference in the whole SEC deal,
Now, I'm looking at this information that we just got about big games this weekend, and Houston and Oklahoma, everybody thinks about Jalen Hurts. That's his first start in Oklahoma, but Houston is said to have a really dynamic, good quarterback themselves, a guy named Eric King.
Yeah.
And they got the All-American that transferred from Troy, too, the kick returner from Enterprise.
Guess he can't play right away, though.
Oh, he can't. I think he can.
He can?
Sometimes I think he got a heart check, but I might be wrong. I don't know how they give those out. Max Howell's our guest, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, I know you're excited about a big weekend. The first weekend's going to be a lot of also-rans playing each other, but at the same time...
Mike, too, it's just what amazes me, even coaching it, is that how much improvement can happen between the first and third, really the second and third ball game.
Yeah.
Because the kids become, they become accustomed to playing with each other. They get a routine. It's just amazing to sit there and look at those tapes on Sunday afternoon after you might have won that first one, but looked awful doing it. And then all of a sudden it starts to come together. By that third week, you know pretty well who your team is.
Max, another thing, looking at Troy, and people say, why did Troy have an open date on the second game? I think if you're going to have an open date, it's probably the best to have it at the second game of the year so you can work on the things that you need to improve on, because in 2 weeks they've got Southern Miss coming to Troy for a big game.
I like that. I like that philosophy, Mike. But I'm gonna tell you from the coach's standpoint, that 6th or 7th week is when you need to rest your legs.
Yeah.
And you got some kids that are banged up, and you got a shoulder, got a pinched nerve, you got a turned ankle from some of your starters, and that's why they like that. The other side of that is you're absolutely right, particularly when you got a big team coming to town that you really need to win that one. And I think Troy really needs to beat Southern Miss at home. I think that'll do wonders for Chip Benz in his program. Yeah.
Max, we appreciate you calling in today and being with us. Of course, we'll be getting in touch with you every Wednesday at this time. And listen, everybody, though, is sitting back. They say, Max, we don't care who wins the football game. All we want to know is what's for dinner.
Well, this is a Labor Day weekend coming up. We're going to do ribs on the grill Sunday. I think I've got a cooking group for Sunday and Monday this week. But a good thing I'm going to do is there's 2 different groups. I'm going to do the same menu for them, Mike. I'm going to do ribs. Short ribs or a long rib? A few chicken strips thrown in there as well. And, we'll do the regular traditional baked beans, coleslaw, garlic bread. Of course, it's getting... it's still pretty hot up here, but here's what I got to worry about for my second dove. Dove season starts on Sunday.
Oh, boy, yeah.
And the guys already told me Monday.
And country boys want to go dove hunting.
If they kill a bunch, we're going to have dove breasts wrapped in bacon strips on the grill.
Oh, boy, that'd be great.
That'll be a tradition there. Then, of course,
well, you know what goes good with that is grits. You'll have grits?
Oh, yeah, we'll have grits with that.
Dove and grits.
On Sunday. On Monday we will. That's the rookie meal.
Okay.
But then of course, we'll do two desserts. We'll do a key lime pie because it's still pretty warm up here, and that's their summer dessert. But I'm gonna do a small Mississippi mud pie. That way we launch the season off. That's it.
You better have some vanilla ice cream hidden somewhere.
Absolutely. We do a triple chocolate with nuts in between.
Oh, boy.
We pull it from the oven and put homemade. No, I'm talking about homemade ice cream.
Oh, boy, I love it.
Scoops in a bowl right on top of it.
Wow.
Oh, boy, don't get into that. Max, you're a scholar and a gentleman, my friend, or a gentleman and a scholar. And, of course, we appreciate you so much being a part of our show. You give us some credibility that we wouldn't have without you. And hope you have a great Saturday, man. Look forward to seeing you next week.
I will do it. Thank you guys always.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with more of Today in L.A. right after this.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Hey folks, are you tired of spending hard-earned money on a gas grill only to have it burn up in less than 2 years? Not to mention burning your food. Here at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, we carry the Holland Grill line. They've been around since 1988, and there are people right here in Troy that have had theirs for over 20 years. These grills are guaranteed not to flare up. You can grill, steam, or smoke on your new Holland Grill today. Come see us at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, inside Town and Country Flooring Center.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Enterprise Wildcats going against the Charles Henderson High School Trojans on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, across the country, across the world. We're going to be bringing you that game live this Friday night from the high above Veterans Stadium in Troy. And should be a wonderful game. Enterprise, of course, coming off a heartbreaking loss to a team out of Miami. They trailed, Enterprise led by 28-3 or something like that. Mike, what was that score?
23-6 at one time.
They led at one time 23-6.
Actually, it was 23-6 going in the fourth quarter.
Going in the fourth quarter, and they lose the football game in a heartbreaker. But it goes to show me, though, what a good football team Enterprise has. They say they run the football. And I was talking to Charles Henderson coach yesterday. He says, if you think Pike County runs the ball, you ought to see this team from Enterprise. But let me tell you this. I won't make a prediction right now. Pike County's going to run the table. They're going to be undefeated. They might win a state championship if they'll just run the football. Straight at them. They got a big offensive line.
Who's their quarterback, though?
Well, he's pretty good. His name is Hobney. But they don't need him. All he's got to do is hand off. And, of course, this Reynolds kid, this running back, Mike, is a real deal, I'm telling you. And then he's got the two my-hand running backs. He's got another one as offensive tackle.
How many yards did he rush for against Charles Henderson?
Oh, he had over 100, I know. I didn't get a full stat on it, but they rushed for almost 200 yards.
Did you ever go over Auburn's football depth chart?
No, we didn't. We can touch on that. That'll be something we can touch on.
We know who the starting quarterback is.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen.
The quarterback is Bo Nix.
And Bo Nix is the quarterback. Mike, if Bo Nix comes through like a lot of people think he's going to do, Auburn's going to be a lot better than people think. What do you think?
Last year, team won the national championship with an unbelievable defensive line and unbelievable freshman quarterback, so I guess it's possible.
What was that? You talking about
Clemson?
Clemson?
Yeah, that's could be the model right there.
All right, Bo Nix is going to be the quarterback, a pure freshman.
Jordan Gatewood's the backup. He's a kid out of Atlanta. Your running back is Booby Whitlow, redshirt sophomore.
All right, now I think he's pretty good. What do you think?
I like his name, Booby.
Good when he's healthy.
Yeah. Cam Martin is over.
Cam Martin's the transfer out of Baylor. He's played pretty decent. Malik Miller's been there a long time. Sean Sivers, if anybody remembers the Alabama game last year, he's the guy that went 70 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah, he's a sprinter. He's the fastest man in the country, isn't he?
No, that's the receiver.
Huh?
Schwartz is the receiver. Shivers the running back.
Okay.
Schwartz is out for the Oregon game, isn't he?
Yeah, you got DJ Williams. He's a guy that a lot of people like as a freshman running back. And then you got the kid out of Mountain Brook, Harold Joyner, that's a big back. So he might get to play a little bit this year. Your H-back tight end, Spencer Dye, is your starter. J.J. Wilson is your backup. Split in is Seth Williams. He's a kid out of Paul Brown High School from Tuscaloosa. He's Auburn's best wide receiver. Alabama didn't even recruit him.
He's good.
Anthony Schwartz is the guy we're talking about. That's the most electric, fastest guy in the country. Flanker is Eli Stove, who's coming off an injury. That's a pretty good player. And then your favorite player is slot 3 wide receivers, Will Hastings. He's back.
Will Hastings, hey. But you know what? He made some plays at Auburn, hasn't he?
He's
quick. And
quick.
the big wide receivers back, Sal Cannella, big 6'5", 220-pound kind of slash tight end slash receiver. Left tackle is Prince Tia Wanagogo, I guess.
Yeah.
Good try.
Left guard, Mikael Harold. Center, Caleb Kim. Right guard, Mike Horton. Right tackle, Jack Driscoll. So what you have on Auburn's offensive line is you have all 5 returning starters.
All right,
also, look at their classification.
Well, and that tells me something now. That tells me something right there.
They're all redshirt seniors, not just seniors.
That's right.
They're all starting their 5th year.
Look out for the Auburn Tigers now. I'm telling you. Go ahead, Mike.
Position on defense, I don't even know what the buck position is, but it's T.D. Moultrie. He's a kid out of Jackson Olin Hospital in Birmingham.
How about Big Cat Bryant, Mike? You're not going to say
you got Big Cat Bryant behind him. Defense tackle, you got Derek Brown. A lot of people said he would have been a first-round pick if he came out. So he has absolutely made the worst decision of his life to come back to college. If you're going to be a first-round pick, I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, I know it.
Nick Coe, redshirt junior, he's all over the place. Gary Walker, senior. Tyrone Truesdale, defensive tackle. Nick Coe will also be playing there. Marlon Davison's the kid out of Greenville. Charles Anderson played him. He's finally a senior. He's a guy that could come out and probably been a third-round pick. And then outside linebacker, you got Nick Coe. It's amazing Nick Coe can play outside linebacker. He's 6'5", 295 pounds.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Middle linebacker, KJ Britt. Chandler Wooten's the backup. Weak side linebacker, Owen, let's say Popo, freshman. And then you got the backup is Jacoby McLean. Right corner, you got Noah. I don't know how you pronounce that. Ingman Noah or Ingman Nihai. I don't know. Roger McCleary. And then nickel, you got Christian Tutt, Jabari Davis. Left corner, you got Jabari Davis, Devin Barrett. And then free safety, you got a guy that's been there for a long time, Jeremiah Denson. And then my favorite name in football, Smoke Monday. It's his backup. Smoke Monday.
I like Booby, though.
I tell you what, I am totally impressed with.
Thomas, and then the punter is, I guess, Aaron Sipos, and then they got another Carlson kicking for Auburn.
Anders Carlson, yeah.
He kicked a 58-yarder in the scrimmage the other day, I saw.
Let me say this that impresses me more than anything is there's 2 and 3 deep at every position. They've got depth in their offensive and defensive lines. I tell you, look out. We're overlooking Auburn. We're overlooking Auburn. Auburn will beat Oregon like a yard dog. Hey, and we got an Oregon graduate sitting right here, and he hated for me to hear it. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The Oregon Ducks are in trouble. The Oregon Ducks are in trouble. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. It's a big one. They say 6:30. Is it a 6:30 or 7 o'clock kickoff, Mike?
Oh, 7.
6:30. 6:30. 6:30 kickoff. Is that right?
It's whenever the Alabama-Duke game's over, it'll kick.
Are you sure that's the way they'll do it?
Yeah, I mean, they're back-to-back on ABC.
Oh, okay. Now we know the rest of the story. So it might be 7:30 before they kick, Mike.
Well, I mean, it just depends, if Alabama plays their running backs that are suspended in the second half.
There's a guy that I could throw a rock and hit, I could throw a pin and hit in the back of the head right now. That Mike is going to have an Oregon party over at his house before the game.
And at the game.
And at the game.
What do they call it? The quack attack?
Quack, 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 quack.
I actually got a couple of Oregon T-shirts when I lived out in Portland.
I got some Oregon stuff too. I'll bring you some Oregon stuff tomorrow, right? Make sure I do it.
It's an intriguing matchup. I can't wait.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
I definitely don't think it's going to be a blowout. I know that.
And
I think it'll be like the Auburn-Washington game last year and come down to the end.
Yeah. Now,
I was watching Neil Brown's press conference yesterday. West Virginia opens up with James Madison, who's
that's
like
a pretty good team. That's right.
And won AA, and they've won several national championships. And he said yesterday during the press conference they have 20 of 22 starters coming back, and they have 4 different guys that are NFL prospects. So West Virginia could be on upset alert for Neil Brown's first game.
Yeah, I know it. It sure could.
If you want to see a polished coach at a press conference, I mean, I watched this press conference yesterday. I guess it was like 20, 25 minutes, and I mean, he was phenomenal in that press conference.
Well, I need to get a telephone number. I'll call him every week.
I don't know if you call him every week. You're probably too late to get him on now.
I know, but do you find out how I can call him? Somebody.
I'll tell you what. Next time Troy has a press conference, y'all need to go down there and do some questioning for Coach Lindsey. All these young college kids asking questions.
Oh yeah, well, I will from now on.
The press conference, you and Bill.
And it's a free meal too.
Several more questions, and it'd be a lot better press conference. His press conference yesterday lasted 8 minutes, which is just unheard of for a coach in his first press conference. That should be more like 20 to 25 minutes.
Is he going to do it on Mondays or Tuesdays? Will he do it on Monday or Tuesday?
He changed it. He does it on Tuesday now.
The backstory for that, and the reason is there are no newspapers that have sports staffs worth their name anymore. I mean, the Montgomery Advertiser doesn't have reporters. They send the press conferences. The downsizing of all these newspapers and news organizations mean that you don't have anybody going to press conferences. You don't get coverage.
The guy from Troy is good, Rogers.
And even then, the Troy messenger guy won't go to away games and cover the away game because the paper can't afford to send them.
Yeah.
Barry McKnight wasn't there for the press conference yesterday for Lindsay, and it was all these young college kids asking questions, and it was really a poor.
What time is this going to be on Tuesday? I've got Rotary, Mike.
It's usually, I think, around 11 o'clock.
Well, I can be at 11 o'clock when I'll be at 11 o'clock when.
So what you're saying is the only quote-unquote reporters at the press conference were college students that work for the
We
Trojans.
hope to have Larry Blakeney call in on Mondays this fall, and we're going to talk to the former coach. Well, I miss old Larry.
You think Coach Blakeney ever plays golf with Tuberville? And then you got Gene Chiswick that lives there.
You know what?
Pat Dye.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
That'd be quite a foursome right there, Mike. Yeah.
No question about it.
So you can have Coach Blakeney, Pat Dye, Tommy Tuberville, and Gene Chiswick.
I want to mention Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. Yes, they'll beat anybody's deal, and I am a good example. I bought a beautiful, a solid black Jeep Cherokee Limited, and boy, it is a wonderful vehicle. They'll beat anybody's price.
I drove that car. That is a really nice car.
And they'll beat anybody's price on a Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram truck from Premier Dodge Ram truck.
Let me ask y'all a question. What do you think is the most popular color for cars in America?
Black.
I say white.
I say black.
I see. We've got a black car too, and a white car. We've got one of each. So, but those are the two I would see. A lot of black SUVs.
My wife and I have two silver cars.
Yeah, you know, I was watching, reading this article on Richardson, Mike. A good article about how he, his from grace. He fell from grace as a player. You know,
you talking about Trent Richardson?
Yeah, Trent Richardson. You know, he was the third overall pick.
Yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna play in the XFL.
I hope so. But he was the third overall pick in 2012. That's almost 2 years ago, Mike.
7 years.
2 years ago. That's like 7 years ago.
And he looked well on his way to stardom, rushing for 950 yards and 11 touchdowns with the Browns his first year.
Oh, Jim Brown was on the sidelines after a game and raised his arm and Brown's arm and pointed to him like he was going to be the next Jim Brown.
Yeah. He's
a guy that for some crazy reason just his vision got so bad in the backfield he was not hitting the hole. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was just basically running into guys at running back. I mean, I used to watch him. He was only averaging like less than 3 yards a carry in the NFL, and you're not going to keep a job.
I'll tell you something about him. In college, you could hardly tackle him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was so good you could hardly tackle him, and you got to
have that vision to make that first cut, and he obviously doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's so big too. He's like 5'9", 230 pounds. He's huge. Yeah. He's all muscle.
Yeah, but now if you look at it, the longevity of a pro running back is not very long. What, about 5 years at the most? How much?
3 years.
3 years. 3 years. So if you don't make your money in 3 years, you better find another way to make a living.
I mean, Richardson's out of the pros. Eddie Lacy's out of the pros. Mark Elam and Yeldon are still in the pros. Yeah. Derrick Henry's still in the pros. Kenyon Drake, is playing really good for Miami. But two of those great running backs are already out of the league.
Yeah. Tell us about Troy's guys. How many do we have right now?
Well, I mean, the rosters will be cut. So, I mean, right now you got Jordan Chun, you got Damian Willis has made the starting lineup for the Bengals.
That's great.
You got Trawick that played for Blakeney. That's a great special teams player. The kid that he transferred in from Michigan State and played 2 years at Troy. And then you got, Sanders has got a chance to make the defensive line for the Jets.
That'd be great.
then you got, of course, Addison's the starting defensive end for the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
Mario Addison.
Yeah.
And then you got a couple other guys that are.
So they're doing pretty well, aren't they?
Yeah, Garcia is on the Colts, trying to make the Colts, but he got a 4-game suspension for performance.
I know, that surprised me.
He probably won't make that roster now.
What do you think about Luck's decision, Mike?
I mean, I understand it. I mean, he's been hurt throughout his career. I mean, the weird thing is, his dad is the commissioner of the XFL.
Oh, gosh.
So that's kind of weird. I thought about that. Would he, basically, if he came back, would he maybe come back in the XFL?
That would be something, but I don't think he's good.
He passed up, hundreds of millions of dollars, like we talked about, but he was a great player. There's no doubt.
Hey, you know what? He might end up owning the new XFL if he wanted to.
He wasn't Peyton Manning, but he was, he was pretty good.
Yeah. We've got to go, Mike. But thank you for being on.
I want to say something else.
All right, go ahead.
I made a post on the internet talking about who should run for president, and I said who could win, who could beat Trump is Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is a good one.
He would be popular in at least 5 states that he played in, and his family was a legend. He'd carry Louisiana, he'd carry Tennessee, he'd carry Mississippi, he'd carry Indiana, he'd carry Colorado. And everybody loves his commercials. He's smart, composed. So I was starting a draft Peyton Manning campaign.
Yeah, we got the coaches shows tonight, starting at 6 o'clock with Charles Henderson, at 7 o'clock with Pike Liberal Arts, at 8 o'clock you've got Arrington, and then we got a 9 o'clock coming in too. So it's going to be a lot of fun with the coaches shows starting tonight at 6 o'clock. Picket shows right here on this show starting tomorrow. And then of course another one on Friday morning. So
Watch
it's gonna be a
those
lot of
Picket
fun.
shows. I have been doing my research. I bet I bought every football magazine. I'm watching all the shows, listening to talk radio. So I'll try to have some good information for our.
Well, great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early for
Mañana.
Today in LA. That's Laura, Alabama.